G'day guys, welcome to our March Garden Live down here at Stratco Jeps Cross with the resident horticulturalist Phil. Phil, how are we?
Good morning, mate. I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. Good to be back. It's a stunning morning. By the time you guys are seeing this, it's going to be our Super Saturday. So the store just getting prepared at the moment. Everyone's rushing around, doing the final touches. Phil, it looks like you've been busy in the garden centre. There's lots of greenery around.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Like, the reason that we're pre-recording this one is because, you know, for the rest of today and certainly into tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of prep work going into it. We've got heaps and heaps of stock, and yeah, I guess we're looking forward to Super Saturday to push some stock out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go into it a bit more at the end, guys, but the big call out, especially for you guys watching, is 20% off plants at all your local Stratcos this weekend in South Australia. So keep your ear out, keep your eye out. There might be something you want to grab. I know we'll be doing a bit of shopping. So let's get into it, Phil. March has rolled around, summer's gone, although it may not feel like it the last couple of days or this week, but you know, it seems we're into autumn.
Yeah, I mean, today you can feel the relief in terms of the weather, but what a start to the week. It was like 40 degrees or something like that for 3 days, and it's just been horrific. The humidity's been up there, but like you say, it feels now like perhaps that's past us. Autumn's starting to kick in, so change your season.
Yeah. It was even a bit of a rain the other day for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's really going to help the gardens, isn't it?
Yeah, well, let's hope there's a bit more of it, but you know, I guess touching on the fact that, you know, we haven't seen a lot of rain for a while now, if it happens to be a dry autumn, keep up the watering, I guess would be the sort of the key to it. So, you know, don't fall into that sort of false sense of security that, you know, we're likely to see rain, because we just don't know, do we?
Yeah. So what happens in this change from summer to autumn that really makes a difference in the gardens?
Well, I mean, as you can see, I mean, the length of the day is already getting shorter. So that sort of reduces the plant's ability to get up and growing. I mean, fortunately for us, it's that perfect time of the year for changeover in terms of new vegetables. You can still put fruit trees in and that sort of thing. The great thing about autumn, though, is, you know, we're 9 months away from summer.
You already want it back.
No, not at all. You know, it's probably the safest time of the year to be planting into your garden. You know, you've still got warmth in the soil, you've still got a bit of warmth in the air, but you know, you've got plenty of stock to choose from. I mean, probably more stock this time of the year than you would technically in springtime. So, you know, heaps to choose from. And the reason I say it's a good time for planting is because, you know, 9 months before summer, you've got 9 months basically to bed your plants in and have them up and ready to go before they're likely to sort of feel that heat that we've just gone past.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what's your choice plants and flowers and that at the moment that you guys have got in stock, but also what you might be using in your garden this year?
Well, to be honest with you, as we stand here right now, I'm waiting for my next lot of seedlings to come through. In terms of, I guess, the veggie patch, it's all about sort of, you know, the broccolis, the collies, cabbages, you know, all of that sort of traditional type winter stuff. And really, I mean, even though they're winter vegetables, getting them in while there's still warmth really gives them sort of that cracking start to it. You get some size up to it before the temperature really does drop down. Just sort of helps them out, get to a decent size, and, you know, you'll get an early crop and have potential to have a later crop as well.
Yeah.
So plenty of vegetables around. Like I said, we've got new batches of fruit trees. We got citrus in early in the week, and later in the week we got some stone fruit as well. So lots of that coming through. In terms of annuals, pansies, primulas, polyanthus will start to come through. I was saying to you before, and I don't know if you believe me, but sweet pea seeds. It's St. Patrick's Day next week.
Yeah.
Is it Sunday? I wasn't sure if it was Sunday or Monday.
It's coming around quickly, yeah.
But St. Patrick's Day, in terms of gardens, traditionally you plant your sweet pea seeds.
Superstitiously, I hadn't heard this one, but feels very
No,
adamant.
I guarantee you. So great time of the year to be doing it. Later on we'll get the seedlings, don't worry if you miss it. But yeah, so get that in. And I just grabbed a quick range off of the bulb stand, but you know, bulb time. So spring bulbs planted now, so that they've got time do what they need to do, growing and that before they start flowering. You've got daffodils, jonquils, tulips, hyacinths. I mean, there's a pretty decent range, and I guess this is just the first of what we're expecting through. So there'll be all sorts of different bulbs to come through over the next, say, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's all happening. What about, I think, touched in the garden notes, but is there some additives or anything we can use to really get things growing and sort of rooting in?
Yeah, I guess really sort of just coming out of that sometime, the soil's probably really dry. Hopefully we've been able to sort of convince people to mulch. We talk about that a lot through the summertime, which should help to enrich the soil, but let's say that hasn't happened. It's a great time to now prep your soil for all of these changes. So digging compost through, revitalising that. There's still time probably to top dress your lawns if you want to do that sort of thing as well. And I guess, I mean, you refer to the garden notes. The one thing that probably doesn't stop growing any time of the year, but with this milder weather, weeds is massive. So as you are turning the garden beds over, and it'll probably encourage more weeds to grow. So having sort of a ready-to-use weed spray available just to knock off some of those nasty weeds. And I guess one of the confusing things that we see is in winter, lawns sometimes get winter grass. It's a little tufting grass that grows, looks a bit ugly when you see it. We often get people coming in winter saying, what do I do? How do I get rid of it? What can I spray? Now's the time to treat winter grass.
Okay.
So before it actually comes up and stuff like that, you use a pre-emergent. So I've grabbed a couple that we've got. So basically a winter grass killer or a pre-emergent, you spray them before the seed heads come up, and basically you can sort of nullify the growth, and hopefully you can sort of knock down a good percentage of it. I don't know whether you'd ever do 100% of it, but if you can knock a good percentage off this year, then as you go into it next year, you can have another crack at it and do that. So winter grass spray, if you apply it sort of through autumn, you can go all the way to spring if you need to, but you've really got to start now.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And what about other weeds? Is there what do we need to do now to kind of stop things getting a bit out of control as we move out through autumn and into winter and spring?
Yeah, I mean, there's all little secrets that you can use. I mean, if you're planting out new garden beds, I mean, you can always put weed mat down to try and suppress weeds. Generally, what I like to do is, especially around sort of established plants, you can still look to mulch through the cooler months. I mean, there is a thought process that by putting a blanket of mulch on, you can keep some heat in for longer, so you'll sort of extend your growth. If it's something that you decide to do, it's not a bad idea to use some old newspaper, and sort of you put the newspaper in and around your plants, put your mulch over the top of it, and the newspaper will basically stop the light getting to the seed underneath, and that can help in terms of suppressing weeds. So there's all little bits and pieces like that. I mean, you sort of hear, I get customers all the time coming in saying, oh, I've done this, I've done that. Another one that people have used is rhubarb leaves.
Okay.
So, you grow your rhubarb, the stems are great to use and cook and do whatever with, but the leaves technically are poisonous, so you can't do anything with them in terms of using them, but they're great. Large leaves off these things laid down in the garden and mulch over the top of them, and you've got sort of a natural weed suppressor, so
there you go.
Very useful.
Yeah. I'm sure we've got a few things on the shelf as well that people can pick up if they need to, pet-friendly stuff.
Yeah, if you don't want to sort of rely on mulching and stuff like that, chemical-wise, I mean, you can look at your glyphosate sprays, so something systemic to get in and kill all the way from the foliage through to the roots. But we've also got some of those friendlier ones, Slasher, for example, which is a good one to just spray on. It kills the top of the weed. So if it's not something that's got a sort of a troublesome root system, if it's just something that's sort of superficial across the top, a bit of Slasher on it, and within about 2 or 3 days, you'll definitely notice the weed starting to die for sure.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. Well, I guess that kind of covers off what's happening in the garden. You know, we're coming out of that heat, hopefully. Hopefully there's not too many more 40-plus days on the way for South Australia anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not nice for new plants and
I
grasses.
think, yeah, I mean, we're having a bit of a laugh before about, you know, it's time to start cleaning up. And when you look around, especially, I mean, we've got great gardens around Jepps Cross. And you can see sort of the reaction of some of the plants has been a lot of leaf drop.
Yeah.
Which leads to a lot of cleanup, doesn't it? So I guess that's the season we're moving into now, cleanup season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've even seen a few grasses, even the one out at Jepps Cross, suffered the last couple of days.
Yeah.
It just probably needs a good water, I assume.
And I mean, I guess something that we've talked about in maybe the last 2 videos is about pruning back damaged plants.
Mm-hmm.
Now is the time to start talking about actually doing it. You know, we've said hold off because, you know, if we were to get some of that heat, which, you know, we just did, if you'd already pruned and it was starting to produce all this new growth, that would have got fried come that weather. But like we say, there's a fairly decent chance now that a lot of that's behind us. So while there's still warmth around, stuff like anything that's been damaged, and I know that even in the garden centre, we got a few viburnums that had a bit of sun damage across the top. Now's the time to really prune that off, and you can start to sort of bring back a bit of life into your plants. So yeah, once again, pruning is a big thing for this month for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think Garden Note said it as well, but autumn seems to be the month where there's a lot to do in the garden. And
oh, absolutely. I don't think it really gets any busier than now. So yeah, I mean, plenty of jobs that we could sort of talk about for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, if you want more to do this weekend or the coming weekends, like I said, we've got the Super Saturday sale happening this weekend. All your local Stratcos that are open tomorrow on Super Saturday. So 20% off plants is a big one that we've already covered off. All the garden centres are prepared for it. They've got plenty of stock. And
yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, we actually just got our stock in for next catalogue, which starts in a week or two's time. So there's more stock than we probably should have.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to get in to get some bargains for sure.
You heard it here first, guys. Other ones is 15% off pots to go along with 20% off plants. So you can't really go wrong. Get a plant, get a pot, why not? And then a few other specials. So 15% off Handymade sheds. That's a good little Easter DIY project. I'll be undertaking one of them this weekend with a bit of help because I don't know what I'm doing. Excuse me. 20% off heritage fencing. Frontier single carports on special. Lots of storage, lots of barbecues and lots of outdoor furniture on special as well. So there's going to be something you want, I guarantee it. So just come down, have a look. Stratco, Jepps Cross and St Mary's will have free coffee on the day as well. So you can grab one of those, have a browse, have a look around and pick up a bargain. Phil, what will you be looking at over the weekend?
Busy weekend for me. So yeah, I'll be here at Jepps Cross tomorrow. So you know, anyone that wants to come in and say g'day, please do. Like touched on, I mean, everything's 20% off. We've actually got a lot of indoor plants that we've got extra discounts on as well. So plenty of stuff to save on. And then on Sunday, I'll be on the radio. So
oh, there you go.
Yes.
Where can we listen to you?
I'll be on 5AA about 8:15 on Sunday morning.
Beautiful.
So,
there you go, guys. We'll be listening. And any plants you got your eyes on while they're 20% off?
Oh, look, I mean, I can't go past this indoor range, mate. To be honest with you, there's so much range. You know, I mean, my passion is all about foliage. I just love foliage colour. So I guess if you're going to find me, I'll probably be sort of, you know, selfishly hanging around the indoor plants.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, thank you, Phil, for joining us, running us through what's happening in the garden. Hopefully you guys have taken away something. This one's probably a bit more of a serious one compared to some of the previous ones where we've had a bit of a laugh, but it's always interesting to know what's happening in the garden and learning about what all these seasonal changes can do. So thanks, Phil. Thank you.
No problems. That's a bit bad timing.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next month. We have a special one planned for next month, so hope to see you there. Thank you.